Varsity Club, welcome back to another classic. I'm not going to front. This is the second most important game in Cascade Valley history. We are facing Michigan in the Big Ten Conference Championship. And look, this is ranking number 2 behind that game we had against Alabama, because that would have put us in the national title. So obviously it was a larger game. But the media is giving us no shot to win this game. Lee Corso was immediately picking Michigan. Every single expert was like, nope, Cascade Valley's trash. Nope, they're trash. They're going to get blown out. They're getting blown out. They're not getting blown out. Yes, Michigan technically is superior from a rating standpoint. You know what? That's on paper, okay? We got heart. We do. You might recall the team up north, their only loss was going to be against Ohio State in the previous week, so they're on a 1-game skid, and we're trying to make it a 2-game skid right now. They ultimately lost to Ohio State by 2 points, which is really not that great, but it's a rivalry game, so you expect that. Now, for us, we lost to Ohio State much earlier in the season by 17, but I do feel like since that loss, we've become a much better team. Something to point out as well, recruiting is sort of in a holding pattern right now. We can't really add any points as we're in the conference championship week, then heading into bowl week, so you can't really recruit during that time. But Steven Sampson, a 71 overall linebacker, committed to our team. We have 6 spots left on our team. A lot of recruits that we're looking at. There's gonna be some big time recruits we can possibly get in the offseason. We'll figure that out later though, but for now, number 8 class in the nation, not bad. Now, something to also point out, McNamara for Michigan has had a really good year. 32 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's going to cross 3,000 passing yards today. Booker is apparently their backup running back, like an 80-some overall. He's up for the Heisman, but their starting running back, I think, has been out for a little bit. He's a 98 overall, and guess what? He came back this week. We have our work cut out for us. It's going to be a very tough game. Offensively, defensively, special teams, whatever you want to look at. Michigan's got good players. Got a major game with major implications. We win this game, we might move up to like a top 5 spot. It's possible. I mean, it would require for a couple of teams to possibly lose their games as well, but look, we're heading into this game. We've got the bowl week. Like, there's so much happening in the near future. We need a big win against Michigan. They were the number 1 team for the majority of the season. We can do this. You can probably already sort of see, but we're taking the success we've had from Marvin Derwin the past couple of weeks, and we're leaning on it heavily. The run game will be a big part of our game plan as long as we can keep it close, so we can try to put our foot down a little bit. McConnell, I wanted to pitch it out at the last second, but he couldn't get it out. McFadden might have been gone if he could have. But overall, the game plan between running and the passing game today is take what they give you. Don't try to force anything crazy. You don't have to be sort of extra crazy out there. You were fine just playing your game. And here, we're going to do just that. Get rid of the ball. Big 3rd down and 2 here, McConnell. You're in the backfield. Feeling the pressure. This man has got some jets, though, and you're seeing him right here as he's going to get hit from behind. We tried to slide, but they got to him before we could. Trying to cross the right side of the 50 here. Another run for Derwin. He's going to find a little bit of room here. Look, we'll take the 4 to 5 yards every single time. Second and short. McConnell under center now. I mean, we're trying to get it out to Derwin, but they got to us before we could even flick it out. And that's honestly one of the things that I'm the most worried about with this team. Michigan has a really, really good defense, an incredibly good defensive front, and that's kind of not our forte to counter. Our offensive line is abysmal, to say the least, so we're trying. We could have thrown that one deep. I think we had RB open, but I don't know if we could have got the arm strength with the guys throwing down on us, and instead we get our first turnover of the game. We can't afford that. Not only does Michigan get the first turnover of the game, they also have the momentum right now. We got to see what they're ultimately going to do. I'm assuming the run attack is going to be a big part of their game today, and we've got to force a turnover ASAP because we don't want them to get going. Eichenberg had a nice little hit there. We see McNamara under center. We're playing for the run. They go with the play action, and Jacoby Walters is right there for a sack. I got to admit, that really felt like it was going to be a first down completion there. I mean, he was in the process of getting ready to throw it. He just sort of tucked it down. I was scared, but we get another sack. The defense came to play. The offense turns it over. The defense steps up. We haven't really seen many punt returns, but honestly, I think in a game like this, we want to give Jason Barr an opportunity to try to return one and do something nice with it. Mark Mullins, though, the true freshman defensive end. What an absolutely huge play in the biggest game of the season for Cascade Valley. Jason Barr's trying to bounce to the outside. Again, this kid has tons of speed. He's got to move it a little bit. He's going to cut, and he picks up a 23-yard return, which is a giant W for us. You've all seen it. Look, Barr has an opportunity to go from 0 to 60 real quick, and he can touch the ball one time and go right into the end zone if we give him proper blocking, and that's all he needs. And I think when you have Barr and Derwin, those 2 guys are very good. Derwin is actually not too much slower than Jason Barr, despite what a lot of people think, so that's a really good 2-person rushing attack to have. Also, John McConnell is really close to 1,000 yards in rushing, so he'd be the first quarterback ever to go 3,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards in Cascade Valley history. I'm here for that. We'll play action fake. Don't like what I'm seeing, but McConnell we wanted to go to A, but there's just no shot he can do that with guys right in his face. And some people might be saying McConnell's got to stay in the pocket a little bit. That is just impossible. With these dudes bearing down on you like that, you don't really have a chance. McConnell feels the pressure again. They baited that, and that could have been bad. We've tried 4 passes. McConnell has unfortunately not completed a single one of them. Things happen. We've got to do better, but we just got to find a way to get a first down right here. We cannot let this momentum go by the wayside, and they immediately are in the backfield. I think that's our center who just let this guy through. Nothing you can do on that one. It's so tough to play a team like Michigan and how talented they are across the board. Our guys have got to find a way to get the job done, and so far on defense we've done it. Just offensively we've been inept. I will say though, in fairness, that we did a really bad job, I think, rushing the football that possession, so we've got to do a little bit of a better job there. Going across the middle, Walters is right there. He's going to try to stop him, and they're going to make it 3rd down and 6. And this is the worst news we could have possibly had. John McConnell has a minor injury. We will return to the game later, but if we keep playing him now, we risk obviously a further injury. We're going to say put in Rocco Green for now, but McConnell hopefully is back soon by the time we get the ball back. It was obviously a super tough hit that he took on that sack, but again, that's the center not blocking multiple times today. We need our center to step up and make a play like Jacoby Walters, who is playing out of his mind right now. Out of his mind. Again, with the ball this deep in their own territory, you got an opportunity to see what Jason Barr can do. If he can keep this ball on this side of the 50, that's a giant W. See what our punt coverage can do. This is a little bit of a shorter punt, but Barr should easily be able to cross the 50 here if he gets a little bit of blocking. We wanted to go to the left a little bit quicker. We didn't, and well, we're still in a good spot. We definitely abandoned the running attack on that last drive. We're going to be a little bit more honest with it here. We're looking for some space. He's going to find himself about 4 or 5 yards on that carry. John McConnell again back in the game. Trying to keep this dude upright. And I don't trust our center to really make a block. Look at Derwin push through, and he's just short, about 2 yards away from getting that first. 1 for 3 on 3rd down conversions has been tough. I think honestly we probably go for it in 4 down territory here. Our kicker's not going to hit anything from this deep, but we don't need to worry about that because Derwin is getting the job done. 5 more yards moving the chains. First quarter's winding down. We got a couple more plays probably here. Looking to see what Derwin can do, and he is getting stronger and stronger every single carry. Michigan's in trouble on the ground. Look, I'm gonna be the first to admit, I thought this game was gonna be just a barn burner, touchdown after touchdown, big play after big play, but instead it's been a defensive battle choking. Then our defense came to play today, and we needed them to do so I'm happy to see that. Little first down here from McConnell, bringing McFadden over. This play's been kind of muddy a little bit this year. Got him baited. McConnell's gonna get hit, but he pitches a nice ball here to McFadden, who breaks some ankles. McFadden is trying to stretch into the end zone. He gets down to the 6-yard line. What a play by Clay McFadden. We just hope that John McConnell keeps getting up. That was a hard hit. The run game has just been so good on this drive. We really honestly buckled down and went back to it, and it's benefiting us a ton. Michigan knows that though. Look at Derwin stretching the edge, getting into the end zone, and Marvin Derwin is really close. I think he's 1 touchdown away from getting 20 again for the 2nd time in his career here. That's unbelievable. So is he. I don't really think a lot of people had it on their bingo board that you would see the first touchdown of this game be in the 2nd quarter, but honestly, here we are. McNamara and company know they got their work cut out for him right now. Eichenberg's trying to bring a little bit of heat. He's a little late, and oh no, everyone's sold on that one. Corum again, a 98 overall running back out here in the open field. We forced him out of bounds 41 yards later, but it could have been way worse. I'm gonna blame whoever that was that came through on the outside. We'll look at the film later, but the outside guy has got to go for the pitch man. We had 2 guys going for the quarterback. That's just a bad miscommunication. They float one out here. That was way out of bounds. McNamara feels a little rattled right now. And honestly, maybe it's because we had 2 of our hardest hitters just gang up on him right there, but it is what it is. Trying to get to the edge. Walden is going to set a little bit of a tone here. Corum is going to break a tackle after we disengage again, and now all of a sudden they're in the red zone. Corum is an absolute monster, and we're finding all about that today. Obviously a passing down. They go here. Eichenberg getting a little bit lost. So was our defenses. We're getting juked out of our shoes, and Roman Wilson picks up 14. We're in what I would consider pretty rough territory at the moment. We need to get a stop. Letting them get in the end zone is not an option, and look at Eichenberg with a loss for 1. We're going to put Ray Walton out a little bit wide here. They go with a run with the fullback, and that dude's going to immediately bounce in. Alex Johnson gets the touchdown, and we got to do better. It took forever for both teams to score today, but after we scored, Michigan marched in the field in pretty emphatic fashion, and they tied this game right up. Derwin again looking to find some gaps here. Doesn't really see anything outside. Cuts it back in for 3. And look, people can hate all they want. The last 2 weeks, Derwin has been incredible. And this 3rd week in a row, he's still showing out well. 5 yards per carry. I think the dude was just honestly banged up a little bit. But if no one's blocking like that, there's not much he can do or anybody else. 2 for 4 on third down conversions today. Desperately need one right now. McConnell all by his lonesome in the backfield. McConnell's got a guy. He's going to float it. Robert Roth, it wasn't designed for him, but he still picks it up. Get your IRA, invest in it, and be like Robert Roth. Successful. That was our first completed pass to our team. We technically completed a pass to Michigan earlier on the first drive, but we finally completed a pass on our side, and it was an accident. It is what it is at this point. Look at Derwin's vision for 10. Michigan's run defense has just looked atrocious, and maybe they'll make an adjustment in the second half, but for right now, we are going to try to abuse that nonstop. This is the probably shortest amount of passes or fewest amount of passes we've thrown in the first half in what feels like forever. Now, Marvin Derwin did honestly get hit pretty hard there, so we want to chill for a second and give him a chance to recover off that. Rotating, we got a couple of guys, but honestly, if McConnell can get that first down, he does. He gets 9 big yards, and again, this dude is putting the team on his back. Yes, McConnell has struggled, but he's finding ways just to keep this going. He's been dedicated to the running game. He's picked up rushing yards when he needs to, and the passes, I think, will come. We just have to trust that guy, and I think we'll be perfectly fine. As Derwin goes through, trust in him. 11 big yards. As his quarterback's recovering, he says, I got you. Bars in the game now. Derwin has just been running like a madman, so he needs a breather or two. A little bit of oxygen at the sideline. Never hurt anybody. Bar's gonna go up the middle again. He's a guy that can go in between the tackles. Despite people thinking he's an outside guy, he can run inside too. The important thing about Bar too, I think we've talked about it before, but he's gonna be in a weight gaining plan in the offseason to just try to get him in a spot where he can be a little bit more impactful in between the tackles, but he's still gonna be just fine there. We're feeling it. We're getting rid of that one ASAP. This genuinely has to be one of the worst stat lines we've ever seen from McConnell though in the first half. He's 1 for 6, 22 yards and an interception. It's not our John McConnell that we're used to seeing. As Derwin's going to try to get to the edge, doesn't quite have that speed, loses a yard. I think we got to go for the field goal here. Hancock, again, we haven't called on him a ton, but he's been really good when we have. This one looks good. That one is right down the middle pretty much. Doesn't have the distance we probably wanted on it, but it's good nonetheless, and we've taken the lead by 3. Michigan's run game is also destroyed us today. Not as much as their passing game, but this run game has just been legendary. We're going to put a few more guys in the box and hope that maybe that helps, but they're averaging 14.5 yards per carry with their running back. Honestly, not much we can do other than pray. Ashton Kirk is nowhere near his guy. We're going to try to bring him over so he's a little bit more lined up properly. They go to the tight end, Hibner, and we're going to get him with Walters, but we kind of blew that coverage on our own. Eichenberg kind of patrolling over across the middle on this play. We got a little bit of a zone. Highly man, but again, a little bit of zone there. McNamara's out here trying to run on us, and he gets almost a first down. Third down, 1 yards to go. We're going to go with a little bit of a different zone here. It feels like a run they're probably going to get, but we still want to try to make it difficult. They actually don't go for the run. McNamara's going to get hit. We get the big fellas up the middle. 3 sacks so far in the afternoon. We're seeing Ben Oliver come up clutch for us there. Now they're going to line up for a deep field goal. I kind of want Jason Barr back in case their kicker can't quite hit this one. We don't really know much about Michigan's kicker. We're going to see what happens. They're obviously going to waste a little bit of time. You know, we're going to call the timeout and ice him. With 59 seconds left, we're going to try to ice him. All right, I mean, this is NFL worthy. So this kicker hits this one, draft this man ASAP. Barr's going to be waiting back. See if we can return the kick. This one's up. This one is... oh my God, it was good. Not only was that a field goal that was long, it was a 50-yard field goal in college. It's not every day you see a kicker hit that in college. Donald's back. It's got Robert Roth, and we just nearly throw a pick directly to that guy. We are in shambles in the passing game. But honestly, with the clock ticking right now, we sort of have to opt to go for the passing game and just go for the best. Switch things up a little bit. I'm actually going to put Gold across the middle here. Connell's got a guy, and it's who else? Get your IRA up. We're going to run a hurry-up offense here and just see if we can get some of our guys to catch them off guard. Connell again, ready. Pressure is immediate. McConnell is running, bro. Trying to get him out of bounds for the first step. I'm going to get that man killed. John McConnell might leave the game in a stretcher. Like, I feel that man just got killed. 29 seconds in a dream. Pressure is real. McConnell's gas. We're throwing that one out of bounds. McConnell has left his parts of his body on the field time and time again. We just need him to stay alive and healthy on this one. 24 seconds left. We're going to the big fella. Oh, you gotta catch that one. Rubley would have had that 100%. We don't quite have an answer as to why Rubley wasn't out on the field there, but you gotta feel like Rubley would have hauled that one in instead of Gold. But still, Gold was a good effort, just not good enough in a game like this. Low to this one. No shot. Number 6 jumped up like he's LeBron James. I think it's field goal time, but can we make it? So our kicker has let us know he doesn't feel comfortable hitting one from this range. I mean, you saw the kick earlier. It was 50-50 at that. It somehow almost went in. We're going to try something else. Robert Raw's going to come across. We got Damon going deep. Doing a little curl here, and McFadden holds on to it. We're going to use our second timeout now. We're in a good spot. McConnell is 4 for 13. If he were in Major League Baseball, he's probably in the Hall of Fame with those stats. But this is football, and you're passing, so no dice. McConnell, he's going back. A couple of guys he wants to hit, but he can't quite get it. We could have thrown it, but it might have been an interception, so it's field goal time. This is a 40-yard field goal. We're going to trust our kicker here. This one is up. This one's got distance. Oh, my God. Okay, that dropped a lot quicker than we thought, but he's still got the field goal to go in. So Hancock, 2 field goals in the first half. They were incredibly vital. We're going to go into halftime with a 3-point lead on a kick that literally barely went in. So we went into halftime with a 3-point lead. Michigan comes out with the ball. You're seeing Booker actually into the starting running back. Now, they're not really using Corum, which, again, Corum had a fantastic start. If Booker is bad, I'm here for it. And oh, my God, what a dot by McNamara. 47 yards later. We kind of saw what was developing there. It was a little bit too late. Eichenberg, again, doesn't quite have the speed to really keep up with them, and McNamara just threw an absolute dot. Obviously a passing down. They go underneath it. What a play by Dwayne Cole to deflect that. We're doing a lot of single high safety stuff right now, but I'm really worried about this guy Booker coming in. Like, why do they bring in Booker when they have Corum, who's been playing so good? They're down 3 yards to go. They're playing a passing down here. I don't imagine they're going to run with Booker. They actually do. Damon is going to try to get him. He can't. This dude is a beast, and we still get him. Dwayne Cole comes up with a big stop. That dude's a monster, though. Because we hit our field goal, though, they're going to line up for a field goal. I was kind of nervous of them maybe going forward on 4th down, but they're going to line up for a field goal. This one is up. This one is good. Their kicker is a monster, and we have a tie game yet again. What an absolute battle this game has been. I mean, we have went toe-to-toe with a team that held as the #1 team in the nation for the majority of the year, and I honestly feel like we're making the Cascade Valley fans proud to look at Darrow with his longest run of the game, going for 19. The run defense from Michigan has been bad. The pass defense by them has been stupendous for the most part. So we're again trying to abuse what they've allowed us to do, and that's the run game. A little 2nd and 9 coming up. McConnell makes a couple of adjustments here. We got Dawkins coming back on a curl. We're a little late on that one. Oh no. Oh yeah, we should have just ran to the side and passed that away. We try to get cutesy. We're in shambles because of it. 3rd down, 23 yards to go. This just feels like it's going to be not exactly ideal. Connell's back here. He felt the pressure. He's going to throw one. Gold is there, and it's blocked by number 7 at the last second. That was a breakdown by Michigan that almost gave us something good. This game really feels like the thing that we've needed has just been a turnover, and we've not been able to really force one right now, and we need that. They go for a quick out route. They got guys there all over. Damon and company are going to try to bring him down, but he still gets 14. McNamara has rarely made a mistake. I believe his 2 incompletions were both automatic passes that he threw out of bounds, so he didn't even want those to be completions at that point. He goes for a quick dump down. They're running a lot of these right now. Kirk's going to try to get him in the backfield. He does, I believe. I think he fumbled, and he actually recovered that one. They're going to review this one, but it doesn't really make any sense because ultimately this ball is coming right back to them. He was already down, so it doesn't really matter at all. McNamara again, the only guy in the backfield, so we got to imagine it's going to be a pass unless he does something crazy. And what a hit off the edge. I see you. The Big Ten is in trouble because we have 2 true freshmen, as well as Bobby Evers, I guess, is a defensive tackle. We have 2 defensive ends that are freshmen in Mullins and Moses, who are just bringing the pain. McNamara's going to try to run on 3rd and 16. Give us the ball back. Jason Marr is ready to go. He absolutely knows he can get a big return if he gets the right blocking. He's dynamic. He's fast. He could be a Heisman guy in the future, especially if we let him return next year as well. This dude can make a play. He's Ray Walton to pick up this first block, and Ray Walton just bailed him. Didn't even do anything at all. If Ray Walton just turns around and makes that block, Barr could have 15, 20, 30 yards on that. But instead, it's a 1-yard return, and now our run game's looking in shambles. If there's a second half adjustment that Michigan made, it's definitely keying in on the run game. They know that's how we've been absolutely destroying them. And that's their one way to get back in this game is to stop it. Our passing game has been atrocious, and we've got to find a way to get it done. But honestly, if you're going to give John McConnell lanes like this, we're going to safely slide and get that man the yards he needs for the first. Going to try the run game again. Now that we caught him off guard with McConnell, let's see if Dermott can have a lane or 2 open up. The answer to that is kind of, sort of. We missed a little bit what we needed, but I'll take 4. Little screen coming up here. They were immediately on him. Derwin tries to cut back inside to get a little bit of room, but they stop him short by 2. 5 for 15 for 72 yards for John McConnell. I mean, this has just been a frustrating experience for him today. McConnell maybe should have went with the run. I mean, we didn't think they were going to key on him, but apparently they did. There's nothing more than I wanted than to go for that on 4th down, but we were so deep in our own territory. It's just a nightmare if we do. If we don't get that, well, we know what's happening. They're obviously scoring some points. They go out here to the edge. John Hall just completely lost track of what he was doing, and they get 21 because of it. You're trying to find ways to keep this game going, but you can feel the momentum starting to shift right now. We've had so many poor offensive drives this half that Michigan's finding ways to get it done. Maybe part of it is we're just not trusting the passing game because of how bad it's been, or there's not enough time, or whatever the excuse is. We're just not getting it done there. 2nd and inches. Michigan likely going with a short pass. They do, and they get the 1st down by a yard. You're also seeing a heavy dose of Blake Corum in the game. You haven't really seen Booker back in the game after the couple of carries that he had earlier. It's just been really weird to see how they've sort of set that one up. And how is Corum doing this? Corum is doing the most right now. What a ridiculous run. 33 yards later. Corum has just under 20 yards per carry right now. This is just, it's embarrassing. Now they bring in Booker probably for the heavy yardage. We're going to play for a run here. McNamara makes another adjustment. Feels like maybe a pass if he's doing that much, but it's not. They go with the option. We have literally no one over there other than Bastion Kirk, but he actually runs out of bounds. Our goal line defense has been tough. Sometimes we get a stop or two, but most of the time we end up getting torched. So we'll see what we can do here. Ball in the company trying to get to the backfield. Jordan Damon getting held, in my opinion, in Michigan, taking the lead by a touchdown. Part of what I think is hurting us right now is we're getting too cutesy with things. We're not relying on what really got us here. We've got to come out here and find a solution. More than anything, our blocking has just been, I think, the worst we have ever seen it in Cascade Valley history. We're gonna see if McFadden can actually burn their guy. I'm not even kidding. Our guys are physically not blocking. Look at this replay. 62 just let a guy walk right by him. He didn't even try to block him. You can't do anything when the moment you hike it, there's guys in your face. It's 3rd and so many yards, you could have the legal drinking age if you get them. We are scared at the moment, and our offensive line is playing like it. Oh no, we had Jared go deep. It's not looking good for Cascade Valley. Michigan had a really good punt return, and here they are, already in field goal range with what their kickers hit today. They go for an underneath route. We hit them, but that's a loss of 6. I think the craziest thing about today's game is that we have not played bad. It has genuinely been an issue with our passing game. Our passing game is the worst we have ever seen it since year 1. McConnell has just not had time to throw. The offensive line has just bailed on him. Our coverage has just been absolutely atrocious. And Michigan has exploited every single aspect of that today. We have worked so hard to get to this moment, and we're about to be down 2 touchdowns because we just can't figure it out. Under center now for McNamara. They go with the run. We got Eichenberg there, and even Eichenberg is getting stood up and pushed over by a small running back. I'm at a loss for words. If you're Michigan, you have to be feeling good. There's 5.5 minutes left. You're up 2 touchdowns, but if there's one thing I know about Michigan, it's that, well, they could possibly choke. If there's one thing I know about Cascade Valley, it's that they literally won't block a single soul. Not at all. I genuinely don't know what to do when our computer offensive linemen will not even attempt to block someone in front of them. It has just made it unbelievably difficult to even have time to pass, find a guy open. Guys are not open for us at all. We're trying to find ways to stop the clock, get out of bounds, but it's difficult. We tried a couple of play actions here and there. We're at a spot where we can't really run the football as much because, again, we need the time that essentially is wasted by that, but we just have to hope that our guys can throw blocks. And immediately McConnell is out here in shambles. Did we need to throw that? No. Was it worth trying? Sure. Even before that interception, though, this game felt like it was long gone. We held so close. The first half was so great. We had a 3-point lead, but we have not scored at all. And Michigan's been all over us since then. And Caden McNamara is apparently the greatest quarterback of all time. There's only been about 2 or 3 plays where we've actually had good coverage. The majority of the time, our guys have just been absolutely in shambles, taking wrong pursuit angles, watching dudes just break our ankles, not able to tackle. It's one of those games. One of our last real chances here on offense is to just try to make this respectable in some way, shape, or form. That feels easier said than done. I mean, there's no one. There's literally no one. 2nd and 10. Robert Roth in motion. It just doesn't feel possible right now. I genuinely can't remember a game where we've had this much trouble getting guys open, finding guys open, getting the ball down the field, having offensive pass blocking actually working. I mean, these dudes are hitting 1 or 2 spin moves, and then we're in shambles, and our quarterback just cannot physically throw the football either. Michigan did get the ball back. Obviously, they could not score when they got the ball back. They just went 3-0. I think they're just trying to be a little bit more conservative now because of the time left in the game. And, well, we're just trying to find a way to get anybody involved. We got a completion. All the criticism, all the hype, all those things sort of factored in for McConnell. This is one of those games that I think is going to stick with him for a long time. Does he bounce back? Does he become a better quarterback because of it? Or does this become who he ultimately is? I don't want to take one bad game or even a couple of bad games and look at a quarterback or look at any player really in our team and say, oh, that's who they are. Define them by one game. I don't really believe in that. Look, we believed in Durbin all this time. We obviously want to believe in our quarterback. But we got guys dropping wide open passes. Wide open passes. There's most sure-handed receiver we have on our team in Robert Roth. And he just dropped a wide open pass to have it intercepted. I rest my case. And with that, our incredible run this season, our 2-loss season with a chance to possibly make a push for the college football playoffs and give a reason as to why we should have been that 4 team in there, it's all coming to a close. We tried, we battled, we did so well. But Michigan, this time around, got their revenge, and they were just better. Recap of the most offensively inept game we have ever played, I think maybe since season 1. McConnell was 7 of 26 for 91 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He got sacked 6 times today. That's a nightmare. Marvin Durham was one of the few bright spots we had. 19 attempts for 95 yards and 1 touchdown, but ultimately, because we were getting hit so many times, because we couldn't really block at all, we had to limit how many times we ran. And when we got down late, it was tough to run the football there. McConnell, 16 of 25. I mean, he was running for his life all game. Jason Barr had 5. You see McFadden had 15. Whether we had Barr running the ball more or involving him even more, I don't think it matters when no one can block for running or for passing. In the air, not a lot to love here. Durbin at 3 for 15. Robert Roth at 2 for 55. He had a big drop that turned into a pick. McFadden at 2 for 21. Jared Gold had 2 drops on 2 clutch plays. That's inexcusable even for a redshirt freshman. On defense, John Hall had 8 tackles, but you're going to have that many tackles when you get blown out of the water in coverage so many times. If you aren't ready for a big game, this may not be the sport for you, John Hall. Jacoby Walters, I will give him props. 3 tackles for loss, had a sack. This dude was trying his best to keep the run game in check, to keep the passing game in check, and he did his best. We got to the quarterback a couple of times here. Dan Oliver, Mark Mullins, Mario Moses, and Jacoby Walters all getting a sack, but no interceptions. When the quarterback throws that well, we're going to be in shambles for a long time. I got to be honest, this is a tough loss to stomach. I think a lot of different things went against us, not just from Michigan, what they were doing to us, but also what Heisman difficulty and the sliders were doing to us. But you know what? We're Cascade Valley. We will rise again. We will play better. We will figure things out. We are still going to be bowl eligible. We don't know what bowl game we're going to be playing in now, but you know that it won't be the college football playoffs. But still, we've had a really good season in the Big Ten in our very first year, and we're showing that we are a force to be reckoned with. We just aren't quite the top team that we thought we ultimately would be this season. But still, one more game to play, and we'll see how it plays out. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.